I'm not just tired of live service games. I am exhausted. These games as a service are everywhere. They've wormed their way into everything, everywhere, all of the time, with constant collaborations and limited time events that threaten to disappear within weeks or even days of their introduction. They're not just new experiences never seen before, they're in your favorite franchises and almost every modern release since the birth of the goddamn Battle Pass. Almost any modern title has adopted its formula as one of its own, so much so that when a game doesn't use it, it feels refreshing. They're constantly fighting for your attention in a sea of experiences so similar that they could be mistaken for siblings. They're constantly trying to outdo each other with big collaborations with games or other IP and updates so you never feel bored or mistakenly done with it. And overshadowing it in many ways is the constant need to be fresh and keep you engaged. Boredom or staleness is the ultimate crime for a live service game, and they avoid committing this sin like the plague. A lack of content may as well be the death sentence for some. It's difficult not to bump into one today, even if you're intentionally avoiding them. Especially when the formula has proven so successful, so profitable, so internalized. On paper it sounds brilliant, a never-ending cycle of your favorite game feeling new and fresh, never wearing out its welcome. Who could ask for more? It does sound like a win-win, but under the surface of all of this is something far more sinister. Something far more psychological. Games as a service is an idea formulated originally to extend a product's lifespan and earn a little bit more revenue before the game's inevitable decline into obscurity as newer titles or experiences replace it like a loaf of bread that was left out too long. It was a way to critically extend the game's player retention and delay pre-production on the title's eventual successor, in favor of keeping that one around just a little while longer, and in some cases, forever. DLCs and season passes were eventually replaced with battle passes, cosmetic skins, concerts, and limited time events, something that you need to come back to in order to progress or experience. And that is by design. It's the hook. And one might argue that this is healthier overall, and to a point, I would smile and agree. The meat and bones of the content is usually being completely unlocked to play without dropping a credit card or splitting the player base. It is a compelling point. It's easy to see the benefits of live service. Nothing but cosmetics are locked behind a paywall, and the content being free to play, it's easy to see the benefits. But more often than not, those lines get blurred. Cosmetics might upset balance and make it feel a little bit unfair that you're not the one running the skin that blends in a little too well with the background. Better whip out that credit card, huh? Would only make it fair. And yet, I'm still tired of it. I'm exhausted with the idea of it. The promise of new always being in rotation and things being lost to time simply because I wasn't there when I needed to be, or missing out on something I paid for because I had other commitments outside of moving pixels on a screen, or simply because I wanted to take a break. That I forever locked myself out of an experience or a pixelated skin because I couldn't commit the equivalent of a 40-hour work week to something that doesn't deserve to ask that type of commitment from anyone. Tired of playing a casual game and being assaulted with walking advertisements, daily shop refreshes, and players themselves advertising the content for you. I hope you got that Hatsune Miku skin, because it won't be back. I'm painfully aware that this is a prison of our own making. No one asks you to buy into the system or to engage with these games. In fact, a lot of the game's own community tends to try and warn newer players away from it. But I'm also not ignorant to the psychological manipulation at play here, the carefully curated systems to ensure you and your friends never feel done. That there's never any completion, no finality. Or if there is, you're never really waiting long enough for something new to once again reinvigorate you into booting that game up. It's a capitalization on the TikTok-addled attention spans of the modern gamer. A fresh new dopamine-fueled content drop exactly when you need it the most. No one likes to miss out. No one wants to be the only one who didn't play that event with their friends, or buy that limited time battle pass because it has a collaboration with another franchise from your childhood. Or to see a million other players running around with a skin that might be just enough to tempt you into entering your credit card. At the very least, maybe your friend did, maybe your squad did. I've been dragged into games more often than not by overly eager friends that intoxicate you with the idea of a new social norm, a new game to hang out in and play while you socialize. Whether that is after work or school or other commitments, which is again another way that you can slowly get eloped with a live service title. You don't want to miss out on playing with your friends simply because it's a free-to-play title, right? And what's this? There's a new limited time event with limited skins and oh, what's that? Your favorite character has a new emote or a new skin to buy, and what's the harm in buying the battle pass if you're already playing it anyway? May as well. Could be considered time wasted otherwise. And that's it. That's all it ever took. One bite and your social circle might have been the bait. The premise of the new norm, and then the rest sets in. The fear of missing out, the sunk cost fallacy, the desperate human need to want all of your time and money to have meant something, to be worth it, to have something to show for it, to feel like it wasn't all a waste of time and money in the end. Some of you might be far less weak-willed or never bought into these systems, or maybe you couldn't, so the everlasting effects of the sunk cost fallacy or fear of missing out never got to you. Or maybe your friends were far smarter than that and never got involved in these games in the first place. But I'd be willing to bet that you eventually got involved somewhere, somehow. Maybe a skin purchase or a bundle to get you started, just a battle pass here and there. How certain are you that you're playing the game for the game and not the arbitrary sense of progression that you inflicted on yourself? That you're actually playing for fun and not because you actually have to in order to get value out of the money you once spent. And what comes from this is routine. You'll repeat these behaviors again and again and again and again, endlessly, pointlessly, sinking further. All of this is to say it's by design. It's coldly calculated and optimized to retain as many players as possible at all times, to keep the numbers up. And make no mistake, you are just a number. Every time you log in, there is the potential for purchasing something you don't need for grossly inflated prices on the fear that you might miss out. Ethical consumer practices aren't actually that profitable at the end of the day. It's damning exhausting, and if I'm being honest, unfriendly to the average gamer. If you're anything like me, you tend to fluctuate from game to game. You may come back to one or two specifically, but you like to extend yourself and experience all kinds of things. From story-driven rich experiences to multiplayer titles, and even friend swap nights with close mates. You don't slot quite well into the live service formula. You can't really take a break for too long away from that one game all your friends are playing, or you might need to finish that battle pass or event challenges for free rewards and all that. You'll need to be there daily. You can't have anything outside of that. These developers know you don't want to miss out. So in order to keep you around, they keep you engaged. They artificially inflate the progression in any way that they can, so that the only way to successfully gain all the tiers in a battle pass and not waste your money is to be present, as often as possible. And remember, every time that you log in, there's a nice, tempting little store to quickly gaze at before beginning the ritual. You gotta do those daily challenges and those weekly ones, though, and these event ones, and oh, check out this free reward challenge and better play that limited time mode because it will be gone soon and you couldn't possibly miss out. And oh, what was that other game you were also playing that had a limited time mode? And isn't it just exhausting? I don't know when games became fetch quests, but it's tiring. It might be fine if you're only playing one game. You might not even notice these systems. In fact, that's kind of what they want. They don't want you looking any deeper into this than just simple, look at this cool skin, isn't it great? It's only the same price as some 40-hour games out there, but it's cool, right? It glows. You'll look really good. And if it just stayed there in its own bubble, it might be okay. But it doesn't. It impacts franchises and series that once had sequels to look forward to. So how many updates can they squeeze out for GTA Online before GTA 6? Oh, and where's Fallout 5, Todd? Oh, never mind, there's a 74 update. Maybe I'm just not the same person I was when I had all the time in the world for this kind of behavior. A simpler time when the same game over and over again didn't just bore me so dreadfully or strike fear into me for being forced to grind out some unwelcomed, inflated requirements that simulate progression in lieu of actual, meaningful progression. Or maybe I'm the fool for ever getting involved with something so tantalizing in the first place, with fake promises of value, content, and rewards, or cosmetics to flex a digital product that has no tangible impact on me whatsoever. Or a battle pass that was churned out every 3 months like clockwork. Especially when that game's servers eventually turn off. Nothing truly lasts forever after all. Nothing is indefinite. What will I have to show for it then? Perhaps it's just the memories that were made, a far more tangible and realistic goal of any live service game. Maybe all the money that was spent was worth it because I did have friends that I had fun with, for nostalgia's sake alone. Or maybe I'm just getting too old to continue to engage in these systems. Now that I'm no longer a teenager, I do have other things to do and other things I want to play and experience. Something that rewards my time with a meaningful experience and stories that will live with me. Or something to show for it all rather than just a skin that will be replaced by the next big one that comes out straight after it. I'm no longer restricted to the baseless free-to-play model I once was. I still like these games. After all, they're fun. They're supposed to be fun. Most people wouldn't play them if they weren't. My friends still play them, and there's always new content to endlessly consume after all, so who could possibly have a problem with that? It feels unwise to wait for this formula to change before I eventually do. But there is something I can do, something within my control that may tide my exhaustion of live service titles. I can stop fearing missing out and find satisfaction once again in the now, in the present moment to moment, to once again play games for the simplest base desire. For fun. Not for a battle pass or a never-ending progression in a system that doesn't respect me or the time I put into it, but to enjoy the simplest, most natural reason that we play these games in the first place. For fun. I don't know when the fear of missing out on something new or currently trending began to outweigh my base desire to just play something for sheer enjoyment alone. Perhaps it was engineered in a lab somewhere to keep me engaged with one product forever. Maybe it never even existed in the first place and I was simply hooked on the dopamine receptors my brain was firing anytime something was new and in the forefront. Perhaps it was neither and I just simply fell for the oldest trick in the book. Or maybe I just need to sleep for a little while so that the exhaustion wears off. After all, I hear Silk Song's pretty good. Thanks for watching. This was something entirely different to what I would normally put out, for sure. I wanted to critique the current landscape of video games and live service, but once I started writing, it was just hard to stop. I wanted this to feel more personal and a little different to what's normally said about this space. Something you might relate to or struggle to find the feeling of. I'm by no means telling you what to do or yucking anyone's yum. I don't even blame anyone or dislike people for engaging with these systems. Sometimes it's just fun to run around as Darth Vader in your favorite video game, and that's totally fine. I'm not a stranger to buying into it after all. I've done it myself thousands of times at this point. I'm just wanting to shine a light on why it exhausts me and why I'm so tired of everything feeling so closed in and so limiting and so live and on the air all the time, and hopefully this resonates with someone. It's not meant to be a deeper analysis of why this is all problematic. I just wanted to write something and I just couldn't stop myself from continuing. Either way, I hope you enjoy it for what it was, which was a fleeting 3 a.m. Vivinst-fueled look into my feelings on live service. Do let me know if this is a style of content you guys want to see more of. It's far more freeing and enjoyable than my normal stuff, but also limiting in a way, but I had fun. I hope you did too. Subscribe, like, and all that for more tidbits as per usual, and to feed the almighty YouTube algorithm as you would. But until next time, I love you all. Bye.